Hello friends, let's find the derivative of this function f of x equals a of x times b of x. So this function is a product of two functions, and those functions are a of x and b of x. So if you want to find the derivative of a function that is a product of two or more functions, in this case just two functions, the way you find it is, the way you do it is that you first of all take the derivative of the first function. The derivative of the first function is going to be a prime of x, right? And then you write the second function, which is b of x, just the way it is. B of x, you just write it, right? And then you have a plus sign, and then you take the derivative of the second function, which is b of x. The derivative is going to be b prime of x, right? Times you just write the first function the way it is. The first function is a of x, so you just write it the way it is. So that's it. So you take the derivative of one, then you keep the other one just the way it is, which is b of x, plus you take the derivative of b of x, and then you keep a of x just the way it is. Now let's take a practical example. Let's take this example. Let's find the derivative of this function f of x equals x cubed times sine of x. So in this case, what's my a of x? My a of x is just going to be, this is going to be my a of x, and this is going to be my b of x, right? So if I want to find the derivative, so just applying this rule here, I take the derivative of a of x, that's, so my a of x here is x cubed. The derivative of x cubed is just going to be what? 3x squared using the power rule, right? And then I keep my b of x just the way it is. My b of x is going to be sine, my b of x is sine x. So I have sine x plus, what's the derivative of my b of x? The derivative of b of x, which is sine x, the derivative of sine x is just cosine of x, cos x. And then I keep my a of x just the way it is, right? I'm using this rule here. I keep my a of x just the way it is. So what's my a of x? That's x cubed. So, and that's the derivative. That's the derivative using the product rule. Okay, so now let's take something a little bit um, more complex, but it's still following the same idea. So in this case, I'm having a product of three functions. I'm having 2x cubed, I'm having sine of x, and then I have to the power of x. So I want to find the derivative of this function. How can I do this? Now, the way I'm going to do is that I'm going to take the derivative of one and keep the other one constant. So let's find the derivative f prime of x. So I'm going to take the derivative of 2x cubed. The derivative of 2x cubed is what? Is just going to be, using the power rule, this is just going to be 6x squared. And then I'm going to keep the other one, every other thing constant. That is, every other thing left. I'm going to keep everything. I'm going to write everything. I'm going to write everything sine x e to the x, right? Okay, now, then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write a plus the derivative of the next function. What is the next function? Is sine of x. Derivative of sine of x is what? Is cosine of x. And then I'm going to write what is left, which is this, right? 2x cubed e to the x. So I'm going to write that 2x cubed e to the x plus, right? Plus, then I'm going to take the derivative of the third function, which is e to the x. The derivative of e to the x is what? Is e to the x. Then I'm going to write what is left. And what is left is what is this part, right? So I'm just going to write that down. So this is just going to be 2x cubed sine x. That will be the derivative of that. So I'm just going to do a quick recap. So this function is a product of three functions, 2x cubed, sine x, and e to the power of x. So what I did was I took the derivative of the first function, right? The derivative of the first function. Derivative of the first function is 6x squared, right? Then I wrote what is left, right? Plus, I took the derivative of the second function. The derivative of sine x is what is cosine of x. Then I wrote what is left. Plus, I took the derivative of the third function. The derivative of e to the x is still e to the x. So I wrote that e to the x. Then I wrote what is left. And that's it using the product rule. Hope this helps. Thank you.